Hello, how's everybody doing today? Today we are going to be doing some live writing sprints. Hold on, let me fix this. I don't know why I'm in a circle right now. Okay, I don't know how to fix I don't know how to fix that. So I guess I'm going to be in a circle until I figure out how to fix it. But anyways, we're going to be doing some live writing sprints or productivity sprints. Anybody who oh, here it is. Anybody who has work to be done, whether it's doing the laundry or dishes or just cleaning up around the house, you don't have to be writing in the stream. We're going to be doing pretty much anything and everything. But I'm going to start the first stream in a second. So, or the first sprint in a second. So, I think I'm going to just warm up with a quick 10-minute sprint. And then once once we're done, we can kind of take a break and chat. If you guys pop in, go ahead and leave whatever you're working on in the chat, and let's go ahead and get to work. All right, so I was able to write about, let's see, 139 words during that sprint. Not too productive, unfortunately, but it's words and it's great. For those of you who are just joining, I'm currently working on a scene where my main characters are entering into the dreamscape. They're going to try to search for some information that they need about what's going on in the story. If you are going to stick around, feel free to drop what you're working on in the chat. We've got a little bit of time before the next writing sprint starts. I'd love to hear what you guys are working on. I think in the next sprint, I might do a little bit of a journaling, kind of a brain dump situation. What are you guys working on right now? Let me know in the chat. I think for the next writing sprint, I'm going to do 15 minutes. All right, I hope everybody is ready to get back to work. Oh my gosh. Technical difficulties upon technical difficulties today. I see we've got a couple of people in the stream. What are you guys working on? Let me know in the chat. I just did a fun little journal entry in my cute little journal that I got while I was in the UK. I really like this journal, you guys. Super cute. It's got like book plates in it. Show you a couple. So here's one. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I just needed to journal some things out because my brain is going 3 million miles a minute. I don't know if anybody has ever done a live stream, anybody who's popped in here has ever done a live stream before, but personally, it makes me really nervous to live stream. I get a little scaredy cat sort of doing this. So anyways, I'm thinking for the next stream or for the next live sprint, the writing sprints, I'm going to do a 20-minute timer. I'm feeling good about amping up the time right now. If you're just popping in, let me know what you're working on in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. Don't really like talking to myself. So if you care to share, let me know what you're working on. But we're going to start another productivity sprint here in just a moment. All right, 10 seconds left on break. I guess we'll just jump right into another sprint.
Why are you walking here with me?
Because you. Every time you hold me, I know it's real. Every time you hold me, I know it's real. Every time you hold me, I know it's real. Every time you hold me, I know it's real. My heart once told me how it would feel. My heart once told me how it would feel. Just like it told me. Each time you hold me. Just like it told me. Each time you hold me. Just like it told me. Each time you hold me. Every time you hold me, I know it's real. me see what's wings like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
All right. Well, I'm talking to myself, but it's okay in that stream or in that sprint, I keep doing that today. I managed to do around 300 something words. Would have been more, but I was being a little distracted by some text messages that I had coming in through my phone, which is just fine. Anyways, I know nobody's actually in this stream, but if you happen to join while I'm in the middle of saying this, why don't you go ahead and join the call? Anyways, last week I got a subpoena to go to court because I don't know if any of you guys or anybody who may be watching this now or in the future has seen, but at the beginning of January, I was attacked by a dog. And so I did report that to animal control, and I guess the city decided to sue him. So I had to go to court for that this morning at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So basically, I clocked into work early, and then I clocked out of work, and I went down to the courthouse at around 9 o'clock. And when I got there, the guy didn't even show up. So that was cool. Felt a little bit disrespectful considering that his dog literally attacked me at the beginning of the year, but it is what it is. Anyways, right now I'm still working on that scene that I was working on earlier where I had my two main characters are currently in the dream world, and they're searching for clues. They're trying to figure out what happened to my female MC's sister, or at least figure out who did it. They're trying to find something that's going to point them in the right direction. If you are popping onto the stream, why don't you... Oh, hi, Hannah. How are you? No, you were... It's okay that you're late. This is not the last sprint. We're about halfway through the live stream today. So it's so nice that you could join me. I've been literally talking to myself for the last hour, which is cool, but I just felt like kind of awkward. I've just been giving the camera some like random story times of my day and like, yeah. Anyways, what are you working on today, Hannah? How are you? As I was saying when you were popping in, yeah, this morning I had to go to the courthouse because I don't know if you watched my vlog at the beginning of February, but I got attacked by a dog in January, and the city sued him. And so I had to show up as like a witness. They commanded me to show up. I love how those command letters or the subpoenas they're so direct, and just kind of like almost rude a little bit. Like I would just show up if you asked me. You don't have to command me to go. I don't know if you've ever had to deal with that. But anyways, let me know what you're working on. I'm actually really glad that I had the opportunity to do this today because it's been a little bit of a crazy week. It's been a busy week. I've had a lot of homework for my college class and with that thing this morning. Right. I'm just going to pause that, give you a little bit of time to let me know what you're working on. Oh no, that's crazy. I'm currently driving home, so I can't write yet. That's crazy. Oh no, don't text and drive. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy to go through it, and it was crazy to have to go there this morning, and the guy didn't even show up, which was kind of like extra annoying. It's like insult to injury, kind of pouring salt on the wound, you know, but it's fine. It's okay. Life is like that sometimes. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start the next sprint. Feel free to join me when you get home. Please don't text and drive.
This couldn't happen again. This is that one. This is that one.
I had to change it like to an actual name.
Yeah. What you mean to an actual name?
Because he was talking
Like,
about rap name. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Damn. I don't know. I don't want to do nothing else, bro.
Hannah, if you're still here, I don't know if you're home or not, but if you are, let me know what you're working on. And if you're not, then please don't respond because I know you're driving. Don't text and drive. I had a very productive writing session. I managed to get down around like 450 words, which I mean, it could have been better with the amount of time that I had, but you know, I'm kind of a slow writer right now. I'm struggling a little bit. It's probably because I took a little bit of a break this last week. After my last writing challenge, I really struggled to get back into the flow of things. I did some writing yesterday, but again, didn't really have that good of a writing session. So I'm hoping that if I can be consistent this week, that maybe I can have a good writing session on the weekend. I see we've got a few new people who have joined us. What are you guys working on? Let me know. I am currently working on a scene where my characters are in the dream world. Super fun to write these dream world scenes. I'm finding that I can be a little whimsical with the details, and it's super fun. They're just probably the most fun scenes to write so far. The realistic scenes in the daytime world, those are fun too, but it's a little more challenging because, well, firstly, obviously my story is being set in the future, so I have to deal with that. And then also just the logistics of everything, working like with objects that are from the future. It's a little difficult to write about that kind of stuff. But for anybody who's in the chat right now or in the stream, feel free to pop what you're working on in the chat. Love to hear what you guys are working on right now. All right, I'll be right back. 1 second. Oh, good. Hannah made it home safely. Awesome. And you're going to work on client work, a manuscript critique. Very cool. Very cool. I did not know that you did critiquing services. That's awesome. How did you get into that, Hannah? I'm curious. I have been also a little bit curious about maybe starting to do critique work, but I feel like my talents lie more on the line editing like side of things. I always find when I'm reading even just like fully published finished work that sometimes I'll be like, oh, you know, this could have been worded in a different way, or like I like critique it in my mind as I'm going through the book. So I think if I were to do something like that, it would probably be line editing services. But maybe that's just me. I actually was a part of a critique group the Des Moines, Iowa Writers Workshop. It's this big group in Iowa. It's actually a few people have been published through that group with traditional publishing and indie publishing, which is pretty cool. And I was a part of that group for a while. It was nice, but I was having them critique my first draft stuff. I got a lot of like good feedback though. It was pretty cool. Yes, it's very fun. I'm an English major and I really wanted to get started in freelance work. Very cool. Line editing is so fun. I work as a copy editor right now, so not quite the same thing, but similar. Yeah, definitely similar. I've always been interested in that. I told my dad when I first was going to start college, or when I was like of starting college age, that I wanted to go to school to be an English major, and he did not have kind words to say about that, but I'm glad that you stuck with that. He wanted me to be an engineer, and you should ask my boyfriend. I am the least math savvy person to ever walk this earth. I'm in college now, just taking like part-time classes, and I had to take one math class. It was a college algebra class, and the amount of times that I almost set my laptop on fire just to get through that class. It was kind of insane. I hate math. I hate math with every part of my being. It's so hard. Words are so much better, in my opinion. They're still hard. Words are hard, but they're just more fun, I guess, if you know what I mean. Totally get that. I started at engineering, but switched to English. Good move. Very good move, in my opinion. Yeah, my boyfriend was he double majored in electrical and mechanical engineering because he's crazy. Very dedicated, very focused person, and he actually graduated early. But yeah, after needless to say, he was very burnt out after that program. But he's got really big things ahead of him. Yeah, I can understand that not being for you. I'd be in the same boat. I'd be in the same boat. The closest thing to anything mathy that I ever considered doing was veterinary school, and I was a little kid and I didn't realize how much math actually goes into being a veterinarian. And that was also before I decided that I wanted to be a writer. So obviously, like little kid thinking, I just loved animals and wanted to be around them. I also wanted to open a wildlife sanctuary. By the way, Hannah, when did you decide that you wanted to be a writer? Like, what sparked that for you? For me, I would have to say that's really hard. My dad used to read to me whenever I'd go over to his house. He'd read um, like poems from Edgar Allan Poe, or he would just read like kids' books to me all the time. And he would always take us to the library and to Barnes and Noble. And I remember going to Barnes and Noble every single weekend. We stayed at his house. I was like so excited to go into that store. At first, it was just because I loved the smell of it. Like I love how books smell. I just love how books smell. And so I was really excited to go to Barnes and Noble and to the library and stuff for that reason, just so I could smell the books. And then after I read Charlotte's Web, and I read James and the Giant Peach and Little House on the Prairie, and just, just some other books that I read when I was a little kid. And I was just like, oh, this is so cool. You could tell stories through words, and that's really awesome. And it's almost like, watching a movie, but it's completely in my head. And then I think what really did it for me, what like put that into real focus for me, was when I realized that books could be made into movies. And I was just like, that's what I want to do. I want to write a book and I want to have it be made into a movie. That's like my pipe dream. But that would be pretty cool. Hannah, you say, I started writing my first book my sophomore year of college, and the passion totally took over. So completely off my radar to become a writer, but it was the best decision I ever made. Perfect. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Definitely, definitely the best decision. Yes, a movie would be so cool. Wouldn't it though? Like, could you imagine if your book got made into like this, maybe not huge franchise like Harry Potter, but like something to that scale where you could actually see your ideas play out on the big screen? How cool would that be? I think that would just be so lovely. I would just love to see that happen for me and for you and for anybody else who wants that in their life. But yeah, that's just, I don't know. Whenever I think of my story and when I'm trying to write my descriptions or character dialogue, I always think about what would this look like in a movie? And then it inspires me to keep going. For the project I'm working on right now, I would love for it to become a video game. That would also be really cool. Tell me a little bit more about your project, Hannah. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. I could talk and talk and talk about my project. But yeah, right now, obviously I'm working on that futuristic dystopian sci-fi romance, but I'm not sure how much romance is going to be in there. It's probably going to be like a light romance, like what you get in YA novels. It's a YA sci-fi religious fantasy, so big genre blend. Definitely big genre blend for sure. It sounds interesting though. Definitely sounds interesting. Oh my gosh. Curly hair is the worst. I have like a literal dread forming at the back of my head right now. My project is a sci-fi romance, but like I said, it's like a light romance, like what you would see in like some YA novels. Basically, it's about this futuristic government, where they're basically engineering pandemics and infecting the population as a form of population control. And then over time, they start to use that in other ways. And the most recent pandemic that they released was an insomnia pandemic that anyone who's infected loses the ability to sleep for the rest of their life. So they force them to take these sleeping aids that gives them the ability to dream jump. Now, I don't know how into dreams you are, or like what you can and cannot do in a dream, or like dream lore or anything, but there's this thing about if you die in your dream, you die in real life, and obviously that's not factual. Like that doesn't actually happen. But in my futuristic world, in my book, yeah, that can definitely happen. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I really like the idea. It actually, I got this idea because my boyfriend had a dream about something similar. Like he felt like he was having dream inception, and I just kind of got this like interesting idea because I've always been fascinated by dreams, and I have a lot of like sleep disturbances. My mom's narcoleptic, so she deals with that, and then I have like chronic insomnia and sleep paralysis. And so I've always just been like really interested in like sleep cycles and like sleep disturbances, and obviously there's like fictional things that can happen like dream jumping. I also kind of pair that in with lucid dreaming a little bit too. So there's some aspects of that in my dream too, or in my not my dream, my book. But yeah, it's super fun to write. Anyways, are you ready for a sprint? Because I feel ready. I want to get some words in tonight. I'm just playing with my hair. I have a knot in my hair. If you don't have curly hair naturally, be so blessed, because this is such a freaking mess, dude. My hair is like another level of difficult. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do another writing sprint. I'm thinking another 20 minutes, maybe 20, 25. What are we thinking? Okay, perfect. I'm thinking like let's do 25. I feel like that should work. I'm feeling in the writing mood today. All right. Oops. Nope. First of all, I would just like to clap for myself for a second because I managed to write up until the point where I have now breached 30,000 words in my manuscript in my first draft. So that's 30,000 words of unplotted draft. I'm now sitting at 30,411 words. I today so far have written, let's see, about 1,500 words. So super exciting. Hi, Ian. I'm making notes so I know what to write next. Good plan. Good plan. Thank you, Hannah. How did you do? I know you're critiquing right now. Did you get through a good chunk of what you're working on? So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what I had just finished up, because I actually also finished a chapter, which is that Dream World chapter that I'm working on. I don't know how many of you guys know about anything about dreams at all, but apparently when you're in a dream, you can't read anything. And so I'm taking that fact, I'm using that term loosely because I don't know if it's actually a fact or not, and putting it in my draft. So they're trying to find clues as to what's going on, and they're searching, they're looking through things, they're trying to, steal passwords basically, and they can't actually read the letters on the keyboard. So they are trying to remember the sequence of keys that are being typed in. So there's that. I don't know. I just thought that was a fun little detail. Anyways, now actually, since I finished that chapter, they're now back firmly in reality. Ian, you said you're making notes so you know what to write next. Tell me a little bit about your last project. What did you finish? Obviously, you're writing something next, so you must have written something before. Hannah, I got through a solid 3 pages of your book, Ian. That's great. Oh, you're critiquing Ian's book. That's awesome. I'm on book 6 of my sci-fi crime thriller series. That's really cool. Very cool. None have been published yet. Are you wanting to indie publish, or are you on the traditional publish route? I love to see the connections in the chat. That's pretty cool. Indie publishing. Okay. Gotcha. You're just not ready to publish them, or still working on it? I know Cody the writer, he just popped in here a second ago, but he I'm sure both of you guys are following him already, but he just published, it comes out at the end of this month. It's a mystery novel. Goal is to finish the first six of 30 and publish those before moving on. I think that's a good goal. Give everybody a good chunk to read through. There's an arc that I have to make work over each 6 books. Wow. That's a really smart plan. You're really close to that goal, it seems. Yeah, I would say that he is really close to that goal. That's really cool. A 30 book series. That's pretty awesome. I think the most I've ever tried to plan out was 3 books, but I can't even get through one finished draft. So if I finish Project Daydream, that will be my first ever completed book. So would be pretty exciting. Need something to do for the next 5 years. Yeah. I would say that finishing a 30 book series is definitely going to take you quite a chunk of time. Are you a fast writer, Ian? because I'm not. And also, do you plot? Are you guys plotters? Let me know. Because I'm not a plotter. I'm a pantser through and through. I believe in you, Charlie. Finish Project Daydream. Thank you, Hannah. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. It's so hard. Writing is so hard. But I try. Yeah, should be good. I just know that when I actually finish it, that I'm going to cry. I'm going to have to get that on camera so that I can put it in the vlog. But yeah, that's going to be a very fun day for me. I'm hoping that it's soon, because I'm on 30,400 words out of 80,000. If I can get through 30,000 words, I can finish the last 5,000 words. Like I can definitely do it. Ian says, I write a book a month draft. Geez, I plotted the first and the sixth. The others were pants. Dang, I could not write a book a month. My best writing month, I think I wrote like 15,000 words or something like that in a month. I couldn't write a full first draft in a month. That's insanity. Good for you. That's great. I'm definitely a plancer, and you're so right. It's not for the faint of heart. Ian's just on a different level. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, I can't do that. I think, sometimes I get down at the keyboard and I write, like I want to write so badly. And I don't think that this is because I'm pantsing, because it's not like I don't know what's happening. I'm a headlights writer, right? So I can see so far into the future of my novel. I know what's going to happen next, but I get so in my head about the words that I'm putting down that like I try to get them perfect the first try, and obviously that's never going to happen. So I just need to get out of my own way. I think that's my problem. Only 60K each. Their murder mystery is so short. 60K in 1 month though, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm sure like after editing and stuff, you like add and remove words and stuff too, but that's still a lot to do in a month. I love a good murder mystery. It's not my like favorite genre, but it's definitely up there. They're like fun, cozy reads for me. I know like murder mysteries aren't really supposed to be cozy, but I don't know. I think they're fun to read. All books are fun to read, really. Anyways, I do think that was actually the last sprint, because we're at 2 hours, but this was so much fun. I love it when people like join and they interact and stuff. I was telling Hannah that I was like talking to myself for the first hour of the stream because nobody was in here, but it was fun when you guys joined. I guess I'll share my last line of my last chapter. It's not really that special, but it's good. Alyssa said, it's time to wake up. That's okay, Ian. I'm just glad somebody showed up. It was so funny. I was telling my boyfriend, because I get really nervous to do streams, you guys. Like I get so nervous to do streams because sometimes when I get nervous, I stutter and then I sound kind of like silly. And then if nobody shows, I feel even sillier. But I get nervous to do streams, and so I was telling my boyfriend, hold on. I said, nobody's here. People keep coming in and dropping off. It's scary. I don't know what to do. And then he popped on the chat or like in here with me. So I wasn't talking to myself, which was kind of nice. But anyways, Hannah says, I completely get that. Whenever I start a stream, I just like blank and say most random things. Yeah, it's so nerve-wracking. It is so nerve-wracking because literally anybody can pop in here. People who don't care about writing, people who like, whatever. I mean, it's just nice that people don't say you sound like an idiot in the chat. Yeah, it is really sweet. And he's in Maryland right now. So like he's staying out there with his mom at the moment. So yeah, it was nice that he was able to like pop in for a little bit, and that way I didn't feel like I was alone. I had 2 solo streams. Only 2? Did you not like it? Excuse me. Air is so dry over here. Yeah, I was actually thinking that maybe the next time I do a stream that I would see if I like maybe another author tuber wanted to join me for that and like co-host. No, I mean then people started to join in the ones after those. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. So you don't, Ian, you don't host streams? Oh yeah, let's do it, Hannah. Let's do it. I'd love to. That'd be so fun. Because I need some company. Because then, if nobody joins, we could just talk to each other. It'd be fine. I get so nervous. It feels like the first day of school for me. Like the first day at a new school. Every single time I start one of these streams. Yes, let's do it. Oh my gosh. Do you have me on Instagram? If you have me on Instagram, like let's start a DM. We can make a plan. That would be so much fun. Isn't it? Isn't it though? I've hosted 4. The first 2, no one showed up. The second 2, I had a few Discord folks show up in the chat, and it was lovely. Yeah, isn't it? But you understand the feeling then when it's like just you, and no one's like, what do you say? What do you say when it's just you on a live stream? Like you're talking into a void. It's so awkward. Anyways, guys, I so appreciate you joining me. Hannah, let's get together. Let's like make a plan to do a co-hosting stream. Maybe we could do like a relay even and do like one on my channel and one on your channel. I think that would be super fun. Yeah, I get the feeling. I ditched the timer and just talked the whole time to myself. You are brave. You are braver than I am. I couldn't do that. I would literally just say gibberish. Like I would be talking about my dog. I literally, like at the very beginning, I was just like up here like, and this is my notebook. And I was like showing all the little stickers and stuff in the notebook, and literally no one was in here just to do something. Yeah, it was fun, Hannah. It was so fun. I'm glad that you guys were able to join me. It was really fun. Thanks for following me on Insta. I'll send you a DM or something. We'll get together and do that. It'll be cool. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end the stream, but it was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll make this a more regular thing. I think maybe not by myself, but like with other people. All right. Have a good night, you guys. Bye.